Greetings and salutations. We're drawing something today. It's a reveal for a costume. The problem is, I'm still not sure what I want to do for this costume, so maybe you guys can help me. So we got our villain, right? Also, surprise, surprise, it's the villain. In case there were a couple people that were able to figure it out yesterday, but there were some who did not. So I'll start by doing like a rough sketch of them. I think I want this to be a little more straightforward. But I guess while I'm figuring this stuff out in the sketch, maybe you guys can help me decide on what costume I want to go with. I was thinking, since it's like the villain, I could do like a demon, or like I was thinking maybe the one dude from Squid Game with the tattoos, the bad guy. That could be fun. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll have like I'll have him like put his arm around our sweet boy. That way I don't have to figure out his head too much. I can just keep it that classic 3/4 view that everyone loves. I'm only half kidding. And yes, Turnip, it is who you're thinking of. We'll give this boy like some nervous hands, I guess. Part of me wants to give him like that like rolled up sleeves look. But at the same time, I feel like I have so many other people with the rolled up sleeves look at this point. Maybe move this way a little. I agree. You should check it out, Turnip. It's pretty good. I was talking about it today with a friend from work, and they were like, "Oh man, is that thing good? I haven't seen it yet." I was like, "Yeah, you should watch it." And they were like, probably should, but also, like, apparently yesterday they watched, for some reason, a video that was like, here's a bunch of small details that you might have missed about Squid Game. And, like, the first thing, apparently, that was said in this video is, like, the biggest spoiler for Squid Game. Like, to the point where it wasn't even a thing that you would have missed. It just literally is the biggest spoiler. And he was like, so now I'm not sure if I should watch it or if I just ruin the whole thing for myself. And I was like, you kind of did. I won't say what that spoiler is, though, because I think you should check it out. But yeah, it's if you're a fan of, like, anime, it's got a lot of, like, similar vibes to a lot of those. To the point where, like, me and a friend of mine were both like, oh, so this is just literally an anime. And I have another friend who, like, hates it because he's like, this is just anime and people like it. But when I talk about anime, nobody cares. It's funny. But if you watch a lot of anime, there's a lot of stuff about it that you're like, oh, so this is probably going to happen, and this is probably going to happen, and you will be right. But that doesn't mean it's any less good. What does this person even look like? Do I even want to do this? Do I want to do, like, a spooky demon instead? Maybe I'll do a spooky demon instead. Part of me wants to do, like, a vampire, but I did a vampire last year, and so I don't want to repeat a costume. Make him also a Care Bear. That is not his style, unfortunately. He looks too big. Alright, I think I'm actually going to be better off starting from scratch here. Oh, a villain for My Hero? See, okay. I like this idea, but I also hate this idea, because the villain that I would make him is, like, literally covered in hands, and I don't want to draw that many hands every day. Like, his character is literally just, like, hands literally on him everywhere. It's like the Thing. It's cool looking, but at the same time, it's such a pain. They just have them all behind their back. No, it's literally like he has one on his face, and then he has some on his arms, and then he has, it's like 2 on his arms, on each arm. So it would be like drawing a bunch of hands literally all over him. And like it's cool, but at the same time, I don't want to do it. So goodbye, hands. Yeah, they're like grabbing onto him in such a way that it's like you literally could not hide this, no matter what angle you put him in. Which feels like the artist just like mad flexing on people. Being like, if you want to draw fan art of my character, you're going to have to learn to draw hands. Because it's going to come up a lot. I almost kind of like the idea of him being like a demon, though, especially with this pose now, because it's like that little demon on your shoulder type of thing. Oh, I could do an Oni. That would be fun. And I guess it does sort of kind of work with his hair a little. Silver, hello. I've decided I'm going to give him fangs just now. I think I'm going to give him like still very simplified but also colored eyes. Like I don't want it to be much more complex than everyone else's because again that's a huge pain. But I do want some sort of variation there. Oh, I've decided on a very good pose. He's gonna be like... We'll put it up here. It's gonna be like swiping a finger, like downward on his chest, to be like, hey. Not dead yet, hello. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Giving him that classic forked tail thing. Oh, I've decided. This is gonna be fun. He's gonna have like... I just have to remember to not do something that's gonna absolutely be such a huge pain to do later. I'm giving him short shorts though, like those ones where like the pocket comes out the shorts. Because I think it's funny. Gotta bring this that way some. I think the angle on this is probably not correct, so I'm going to fix that. That already looks better. I like the idea of it just being like literally horns. Because he's like rich or something, so it's like that good movie prop quality or whatever. He got some like makeup artists to come and actually put horns on him. Just because he's got the money. Do I like this hand gesture is the question that I'm at right now. Here's a thought. What about this? After zooming out, I hate it. Never mind. Forget I said anything. So I think I want this to be more of like a what if it's more like this on his arm? Can't remember that I also have to include text on this page. I've decided he's going to be looking down here. At this grippy arm, grippy hand. Need his face to be a little bit bigger. Oh. I don't think I want to give him pointy ears. I want him to have regular, not pointy ears, I think. Like it's the last slice of pizza. Something about this mouth is not right. Something like that, I think. Bacon for HP. Thank you for the follow. And I don't know about blonde, but he is that boy. I'll figure that out in a minute when I get there. Okay. The temptation here is that I want to, because this isn't like a super detailed page, it's just the one panel, is that I want to like put a lot of detail in this suddenly. But it's a level of detail that I know I'm not going to put into the other pages, so part of me does not want to do that, because it'll make the other ones look a little weird. Or I guess more accurately, it'll make this one look weird because all the other ones are going to be more simple. It's such a struggle, you know? Also, I'm doing that thing that I always say to never do, which is starting with a face, and oops. But here we are. So apparently, there's like a Procreate beta that's going around. I guess they have a new version coming out soon. And one of the tools is like a page assist, which would have been very helpful for this particular project. And it's kind of funny that it's coming out after I'm already working on a comic like this. But basically in Procreate there's like a bunch of tools that you can use for like, there's like a drawing guide thing, or if you're doing animation it'll add frames and stuff. So they're doing one for like comics, which is pretty neat. I shouldn't have done all those things because now I have to hit a bunch more undos than I normally would, but still. But yeah, I'm curious to see how that goes. Maybe it will lead to me doing more comics in the future. Because comics are fun, even if they are a lot of work and are quite exhausting. I've decided I don't like this expression for him. Because our boy is a sweet, innocent soul. Who genuinely believes Cecil is here to help find his other friends. So we're just gonna give him a little smiley. Just a little happy boy. He does not notice. The sheer kindness. boy is painfully optimistic and oblivious to most things. It can't be helped. I've also decided to give him claws. Proverbial cinnamon bun. Nope. I want for this to line up with this, is what I'm currently trying to hit undo about, I guess. We want this to kind of come like that. That's fine. Do I have a favorite? I don't. They are all my favorite. All my sweet boys. Even this terrible monster named Cecil. If only for the fact that it lets me draw a terrible monster. That emote is so good. Oops. Deville. What's the angel equivalent of that? It's like your the devil or angel. Usually. I don't know why I'm not doing it this way. This is like so much easier. Just drawing a normal hand and then putting in the claws after. Or normal fingers, I guess. current thing that I've noticed that needs to be fixed is we need for his arm to be continuous here, which means we don't want any space like between this line and these up here. Oops. Which means I need to rotate and probably also move this to be like here-ish. Move it down. Like there is fine. You might not get to see the quite as tight grip on this hand because so much of it is going to be obscured, but that's why I wanted to make it very obvious with this hand, just in case. But also because this is literally on his neck. So it's much more overtly like, I'm trying to kill you vibes. This does mean that I need to adjust the angle for the top of the hand, though. Magic. So this needs to be more like this angle. Oh, I've just now remembered I forgot to check on Twitch exporting things to YouTube. Ever since they had that big ol' breach or whatever, none of my, apparently there's like a button on Twitch, right, that exists. It's just like, hey, hit this and it'll export your VODs to YouTube. Apparently ever since they reset everyone's stream keys because of that outage or something, or that breach that they had, that button doesn't work for people anymore. I thought it was just me, but after Googling it, it's apparently not just me. So I hope they fix that soon, because it's very inconvenient for me, if anything else, to have to download all my videos and then manually post them to YouTube, just because I don't have a ton of space on my other computer that I would be doing all that on. I need to plug in my pencil. At some point I'll probably have to plug in this pencil during the stream. Be warned. Normally I would draw these rings with the, what even is that called? The, like, shape assist? Drawing assist? I don't know what it's called. There's, like, a thing that lets you draw perfect shapes. Normally I would do that, but I'm, like, 80% certain that if I did that, the parts I've already drawn wouldn't line up. And since you can't see this whole thing anyway, I'm not that worried about it, really. This angle would probably be a little more like this, though. Just judged on the part that I've drawn already. So we'll go like that. Nope, a little more. I guess. This angle looks super bad now, though. We're going to be sculpting these lines. In retrospect, maybe it would have been easier if I just did that thing that draws perfect circles and then did this part after. So lessons learned, I suppose. In future, that will be how I do this. That's the thing about figuring out how these costumes go the first time, is that it's like, alright, how can I cut corners for this later? Because I know there's going to be a point where I'm not going to have as much time to focus on some of these details, you know? Yeah, fine. Wasn't sure if that felt like too much. Bacon, I love your emotes. They're so good. Cosmos, hello. Yeah, they're great. I think you have to be like a certain level for Twitch to let you do GIFs or GIFs or whatever you want to call it. Because otherwise I would do the like sweaty one. The sweaty bear. The nervous bear. All shaking around. I feel like that would be a good one to do. I think you just have to reach like a certain level, like everything else with Twitch, where you need to have like a certain number of subscribers and hours viewed or blah 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 blah. They try to gamify everything. That one would be a good one to shake as well. I'm trying to show that his hair is like being displaced by these horns, because usually his hair is a little bit wider than this, for lack of a better term. Since when do I draw? Like, ever of all time? Like when I was little, when did I start? Is that what you mean? Or like, just today? Because if it's just today, the answer is when this stream began. I try not to draw before then, because otherwise I get a little too burnt out. But some days you just can't help it. You gotta draw other stuff, you know? But if it's like when, period, it's more like you gotta suffer for your art. That's true. It's not so much like when did I draw, when did I start drawing. It's more like I just didn't stop. I've come to find that like most people draw at some point in their life, and then at some point you just sort of stop doing it. But the people who draw like as like a career or whatever you want to say are just the folks that didn't stop. Because like everybody's had like crayons or whatever when they're a small child drawing art that goes on the fridge, you know? But yeah, there's always just the folks that never really stopped. I'm gonna give it like one little thing over here. Just yeah, like painting your face. Stop because you're your biggest critic. I feel like everyone is their biggest critic. You just gotta have to, like, accept it and use it as an opportunity to grow. Because that's the thing, is like, there's no such thing as a perfect piece of art. There will always be something about it that you want to change or improve or adjust over time. And if I go back and like look at old art, there will always be a thing about it that like I hate and want to change or edit in some way. Which is one of the reasons that I don't like make things like wallpapers very often. For myself, I should say. Or have like my own art around. Because anytime I see it, I will instantly be like, oh, I could fix this, and I could fix that, and I could do this different, and it never ends. So I just try not to think about it. I think I want his face to be a little wider here. But yeah, so like once you sort of understand that there will always be something that you can change or do differently, and just sort of accept that as fact, then like making things in general will be a much more rewarding experience, because then you will start to treat it for what it is, which is like a learning experience. Just making the thing is often better than not at all. There's like a whole school of thought in that regard, as far as like engineering, where sometimes like production lines and things will exist for the creation of something, and they'll make it a couple of times just to make it and then not actually use the thing that they've made. Because while you go through the process of creating the thing, you learn how to A, optimize the thing, and B, how to refine the process of creating the thing itself. So you'll sort of learn over time, like, oh, I could do this differently, or I could do that differently, or what if this thing that I made does this instead of this? That sort of thing. And oftentimes that can be much more valuable than the actual thing that you're making. I'm going to make this a little bit thicker for a couple of reasons. First is because I moved it earlier, so it's slightly a little more pixelated, but second is because all the other lines around this are a little thicker, so it stands out a little too much for me. So I'm just going to come back and make this a little heavier. Big meaty claws. Painting a rainbow. Aw. I'm sure your rainbow was delightful, Turnip. Stop because you stink at drawing. Everybody stinks at drawing. To quote a famous dog who also has the same name as me, being bad at something is the first step to being great at something. I'm paraphrasing, but that's generally what the point is. Everybody starts somewhere, you know? So don't get too, like, down on yourself about it. The fact that you are aware of what your limitations are and the progress that you could be making is often a great place to start to make that progress. Like, there's plenty of spots that I know I could definitely be better at. And knowing that you have those areas of improvement mean that you know what areas that you can work on. I would say to give it a try if you really are interested in trying it again, Bacon. It doesn't have to go anywhere. You don't have to, like, share it. You could just do it for you. If I'm gonna put this here, that's like right in the middle though, is the problem. So I'm gonna bring that over a little more. Delightful if it appeared in Silent Hill. You mean your rainbow? I don't know about that. I'm sure it was great. If you mean these boys, maybe. Maybe that would be delightful, actually. I like almost had a Silent Hill day today. It was so dangerously close, and then when I got in the car it started to clear up and I was so sad. Sometimes I'll, like in the morning, around this time of year especially, I'll wake up and it's like super foggy and misty. Those are the best. I always like turn on the Silent Hill soundtrack while I'm driving to work, just to really set the mood for the day, you know? At one point I have to drive across this one bridge where if it's like very foggy, this bridge becomes like the entrance to Silent Hill, basically. Like, you cannot see the other side of the bridge once you get on it. And it's not that long of a bridge. And like you driving on that bridge and the vision gets all bad while you got Mary Elizabeth McGlynn singing Silent Hill songs at you, and you're like, oh man, it's happening, today's the day, spooky monsters, they're coming. But then they never do, and then I have to go to work and it makes me sad. I'm like, fine, I guess no spooky monsters. I'll go get this job done. I'll go grind for this paper. Or whatever it is the kids are up to these days. Doing traditional drawings because you don't have... Sorry, I'm just now catching up on the chat. But yeah, traditional is a great place to start. I didn't start doing drawings with a tablet until I had been drawing for years and years. Even with these daily drawings, I was working traditionally up until like 3 years in or so. Interestingly, when I first started drawing digitally, I did not have a tablet. Someone got me Photoshop for school, so I was like, heck yeah, I'm gonna learn draw digitally. And I was not aware that you needed a tablet at first. So I drew with a trackpad, and it was an experience. It's helpful for Photoshop, I guess, because later I learned to like make selections that way when I don't have like a mouse or a tablet around. But after doing it for a little while, I was like, there must be a better way. There's no way that artists do this. And then I was right. And then I learned about drawing tablets, and I had to buy one. I was like, I can't draw with this trackpad. Not like this. That's fine. Trackpad and MS Paint. It's true. Actually, I don't even know if the same tricks that I use for the trackpad would work for MS Paint. Because what I would do is basically like, you tap and put a... Oops. You like tap and put a circle down, and then when you hold shift and tap, it'll like connect it as a line, basically. So I just make lines to make shapes and stuff. And it meant drawing my super lame anime OCs took forever. Yeah, basically like using the pen tool in a vector drawing program, only without the little adjustable anchor points. It's just a straight line. That was how I started drawing digitally. I think I did like 2 or 3 things that way before I was like, I can't do this. I refuse. I think that's about it for this, boys. So now we can do the color part. I'm going to start with this. Because just in case you weren't fully aware that this is Cecil, I'm making sure that you know with his eyes. And I'm realizing now that these are uneven, so I need to redraw this one. It's probably like here-ish. I may increase the size of those later, but for now that's what we're going with. And I can turn that off for now too. Once again, I have not grabbed the colors for these backgrounds, so I'm going to go to yesterday. And just kind of throw these on here real quick. Go back. Now this is important. Here. That's probably all I really need. I'll make this a little higher. And I'll turn that down for now. I just have to remember to turn it up later. So we'll start with the darkest colors. I forgot that I need to draw that there. because it's going to be harder for me to see this. Actually, I think I'll make this boy this color as well. So it'll be like a deep dark red kind of thing. If I somehow manage to like come to a reasonable conclusion, I'm still sort of making this up as I go, I should mention. But if somehow I can come up with like a reasonable conclusion to this story before the end of the month, I would like to draw everyone in their costumes in full color so you guys can sort of see how I've been picturing them in my brain this whole time. But for the sake of consistency, I'm just doing grayscale. And just so you can see his accessories, I will make sure that that is not the same color. Oh wait, can I even do this? Because of his hair? I'll just have to make his hair black. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. For now, I'm just gonna fill in this whole section, though. I suppose if I really wanted, I could probably just grab the almost black but not quite black that I'm using for the crowd in the background. But I'm trying to use as few colors as possible. So if I just make it black, then that's one less color I have to worry about from day to day. There's a dog outside. This looks so dark with this background, but once I fill it in with the regular background, it's going to be so light looking. Relative colors and values and such, you know? It's wild. Yeah, that's everything. Yeah, I'm just gonna make this black. It'll be easier on me in the long run. So this comes down to about the eyebrow height. And then this comes down to about the eye height. That's usually how people's hair goes. Make this a little bit higher. It's true, Key. Our sweet innocent Care Bear is quite literally making a deal with the devil, I guess. Whoops. Good enough. Okay. Next color. Turn these back off just so I can see what I'm doing. Ringo Starr's art tools. I always forget that he made a bunch of paintings or whatever. I'm seeing a tiny little thing. Completely unimportant for me to have filled that in, but I did it anyway. Since the background is so dark, it would have just filled it in on its own. Or, like, you wouldn't have noticed it, really. The only reason it stood out is because the background behind it is bright. But that's not important. We've already moved on. Where did I start? Next color. Oh, this is literally the background, so I have to turn those other things back on. Otherwise, we would never see what we were doing. Oh, he's still making paintings? I didn't know that. Good for him. Making art and paintings and things can be very therapeutic, so... Making stuff in general, I guess I should say. So I recommend it if you have the ability And I should clarify, I'm not saying if you have the ability to do it well. It's just if you have the ability to do it at all, I recommend it. Do not be discouraged by what others will think. You make the thing you want to make, you know? Doing this part of his face always feels like I'm drawing whiskers on him, like a cat. Which is kind of funny. I think his belly button might not be in the right spot. So I'm gonna have to move it here in a minute. Stop that. Usually I would like draw some sort of guiding line, but the center would be like here, which means his belly button needs to come further this way. Stuff like that isn't as noticeable when you don't have other things to sort of help you realize that the relative positioning of a thing is not correct. I don't want this to go all the way to the edge, but I'm filling it in so that I can erase it. Good enough. How to draw body correctly. Generally, practice a lot. I'm still not good at it, honestly, a lot of the time. I just kind of fake my way into making something that looks semi-accurate. But yeah, pretend that you know what you're doing, and then research like anatomy and stuff for a little while, and it'll start to make more sense as you go. But unfortunately, if you did not like anatomy classes in school, learning to draw accurate proportions is going to be quite the chore. I'm sorry to say. But on the good side, you'll learn a lot about anatomy while you try to draw a good body. That's too big. curved. He's smiling in a sinister way, which means his cheeks should be coming up this way, which means his eyes are going to be shaped this way. But now that I'm looking at this, I kind of don't like his eyes being this color. So maybe I will just make them black. Whoops, that was unintentional. You need to fill that layer, not clear it. I don't know. Still kind of on the fence about it. I forgot to fill in his tongue. I kind of want him to not be quite this dark, but I don't want him to be this color either. So we're gonna do one of my favorite tricks, which is take the two colors that we want to be somewhere in the middle of, put one on a separate layer, and just turn down the opacity until it's kind of sort of what we want. So on this layer we want to grab this portion and copy and paste it just right on top so that I can come in here and fill this whole layer all at once. That's pretty good, actually. Yeah. Let me just add this in here for later. Yeah. I don't need that layer. Don't need that layer. Okay. That's a little better. Okay, what about this? What about this as a compromise? Oh no. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. It's not like that noticeable. Maybe I just need to make them bigger. His eyes are usually bigger anyway. Or his pupils or whatever. Oh no, only doing the one makes him look like Sans Undertale. Apparently there's a new Toby Fox character everyone on the internet loves, but I still haven't played Deltarune. I was originally waiting for all of the parts, but apparently it's gonna be like 7 parts or something. So maybe I'll just play it one of these days. Because I feel like I'm missing all the memes. Yeah, that's exactly what I said. It's gonna take forever, so I'm absolutely gonna be out of the loop for such a long time. Oh, I already like this a lot better. The main problem with it before was that this color was a little too close to this color, so it didn't quite stand out enough. This. Ice Jam, hello. Yeah, I think that's a lot better. I'm gonna go with that for now. So I need to put in the text now. Ba 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 ba. This is like 45. And this is whatever this is called. I might have enough space to do both of these things over here. So we will find out. I want friend to be on its own. For that added drama. And I do have enough space for these to both be over here, so I will do that. Probably can move this a little closer to here. And bubbles are going here onto this layer. I'm going to move this text down to be a little more centered in this bubble. That's why I'm not super worried about it right now. The important thing is that I have the bubble where I want it and not so much that I have the text where I want it in particular. Nope. This layer needs to go to probably here. Nope, a little higher up. Sometimes I hate like how intrusive the boxes are for moving stuff around. Oh wait, I wanted that to be this color. That's why it looks a little bit weird. I think that's good. Yeah. Nope, I lied. It's super not. We almost forgot about the most important detail of his costume. What a tragedy that would have been. I draw that center line to help me figure out how I want this heart to look. If you're wondering what that line was down the middle for, if you're wondering what that line down the middle was for, is how I should have formulated that sentence, but you guys understood what I meant. And I want this to be a little higher up. Yeah. Since it's a dramatic reveal, this is kind of just like a very easy one panel kind of a page thing. I could, like I said, get a lot more carried away with like how I want to do the lighting or something, but I'm trying to keep it very simple so that in the days to follow it doesn't have to be a whole lot of extra stuff for it to look accurate, I guess. So this is where I'm gonna call it for today. I'm gonna put my name on it somewhere. Somewhere, I'll put it like here, I guess. I'm usually pretty hesitant about putting it down towards the edge within cropping distance, because people online like to steal. But it'll be fine. Yeah, that'll be it, I think. And don't worry, Ice Jam. It was a quick one, so don't feel too bad. What is this layer? Oh, I think that was meant to be like, where the text went, but oh well. I can turn those off, and we can flatten this down, and come over here, get rid of this little thing down here. And there we go. Yeah. A pretty simple and quick one this time. It was more about the dramatic reveal than anything, I suppose. So, yeah, I guess. I'm gonna call it here now. Let's raid Bear Boy, because he's playing Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts. I have to pull up the thingy. The online thingy. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, that'll be it. Darkness, darkness, darkness. That'll be it for me. As always, you can find all of this drawing and more, on Twitter and Instagram. This one will be there in probably like 5 minutes or 10 minutes or something like that. Yeah, I should be back again on Monday probably. So I hope everyone has a wonderful week and an amazing weekend. Go out and do something nice for somebody, and maybe someone will do something super cool for you as well. Just, go out and be super cool and good and awesome and nice, I guess. So before I begin to ramble for like way too long, we're gonna go raid Bear Boy. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.
We're playing some more Kingdom Hearts 1. Trying to beat this game before Sora comes out. So far, so good. Jake, buddy, how was your stream? If you guys haven't checked out Jake and aren't following him, check him out. He draws pretty nice. I'm leaving.